Tony Stark. I build neat stuff. I got a great girl. And occasionally, save the world. So why can't I sleep?
You elected me on a single platform. I will defend this country at all costs. The Mandarin must be stopped.
You don't know who I am. You'll never see me coming.
Alright, this movie came with a lot of questions, and I think a lot of people are curious about some stuff. So I'm just going to start with the biggest question of all. What's up with Shane Black and Christmas? Seriously, Iron Man 3 set in Christmas, Lethal Weapon, Long Kiss Goodnight, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think this dude either just had the best Christmases in the world or the worst.
I got another thing. What's up with Shane Black and guns?
That's his... hey...
He also has guns in his movies a lot. Guns and Christmas. He made a movie called Christmas Guns.
I really want him to do the remake of A Christmas Story now.
Oh, dude.
The Red Rider would have a totally different ending.
These are all great ideas.
These are great ideas. You know what else I think is great? Iron Man 3, and that's what we're here to talk about. So, for everybody who is just joining us, I'm Aaron. Joining me today to review Iron Man 3 is Mike.
Hello.
Maz.
Some people just call me a podcaster. I prefer to think of myself as a critic.
And Jackson.
Yo!
Yeah, alright, we're all here, and I don't know Mike and Maz's opinions. I know what Mike's opinion is, actually. I know Jackson's opinion. I don't know Maz's, but we're fairly all over the place, from what I can tell. So I think that we're going to get a very wide perspective on this film, which is good, because reading the reviews that I've seen going around, this is a film that a lot of people have been kind of all over the place with. I mean, the majority of people liked it, but it did have a lot of people disappointed. I'm just going to say right now, I was very impressed. Like, I went into this worried about so many things. I mean, I should have been, because it's Shane Black and Robert Downey Jr., the duo that helped make Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And no, I'm not counting, what's-his-face, Fat Batman. I'm not giving him any credit for that movie. Thank you. But yeah, I was very happy to see those two come back. But at the same time, you know, I know everybody was like, yeah, this is right off the Avengers, and at the same time I was like, to me it's off of Iron Man 2. Let's see how it goes from there. And, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, during the first couple minutes of this movie, I was getting total Iron Man 2 vibes. Because one of the things I didn't like about Iron Man 2 is it was all over the place. It was just, alright, Tony Stark has caused world peace. Now we're in Washington. Now this is happening. Now we're here. No explanation. And that's kind of how this movie began. But after it gets through that, and once the second act starts, I was totally in. It didn't have any of those problems to me. What about everybody else? How'd you guys walk away from this film?
I guess I'll
Who's gonna go?
Not everybody at once.
Mike.
Yeah. I think it was good. It's a proof of concept that stylistic directors can come and fit their style to the Marvel film series.
Ooh, yes.
But at the same time still be nothing but consumerist entertainment that is hollow and nothing like Nolan's Batman films.
Really? We're less than 5 minutes into it and you went there already?
What? I enjoyed it, but it's hollow.
It's not that you say it's hollow. It's the fact that you've less than 5 minutes into it. Let's talk about Batman.
I think basically what Maz is getting at, I agree with him, is that Dark Knight, and it wasn't the other two Batman films. The other two Batman films are fine, but they're not like The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight isn't hollow. It has a point, all that stuff. And I think The Avengers does have a point as well. It's a lighter point, but that isn't a hollow movie. That is a movie with a point, whereas Iron Man 3 to me was a very well-made movie, very funny, good action, with loads of really good themes that it did nothing with. It was just like, I guess they're here, and it felt really empty because it never said anything or never did anything proper beyond go, like show the potential for more, even though it was actually pretty good. It's weird.
All right, now, Mike, what about you?
Why should it have blood?
Maz likes blood.
Well, he's friggin' tied to just
Iron
like
Man
that.
should have done some suplexes and some
he's all
elbow
like,
punches.
No, he's just all like, you're going to be in a pool of blood. And then he blows people away, and there is no blood. Because, oh right, Disney movie, gotta be PG-13 and make them all the money.
Also, because laser beams don't exactly cause blood, they kind of cauterize the wound as it happens.
He
I
goes
don't know,
shooting people
science,
with an
Maz.
Uzi.
Yeah, that was the part where Tony
Wait,
Stark.
what?
When Tony Stark becomes a cold-blooded murderer for some reason.
Yeah, but
You know,
it doesn't... Tony Stark has been murdering people for a while.
Actually, he hasn't. He's like murdering drones in Iron Man 2. He's been pretty low on the murder scale.
I'm not talking Iron Man 2, I'm talking Iron Man 1. He fucks up that entire Iraqi base.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Afghanistan, whatever it was meant to be. His first appearance is he murders a ton of terrorists.
That's true. He does do a heck of a lot of murdering straight off the bat.
And also, as far as the blood thing and that gun shootout, it cuts right from the villains as soon as it shoots him. Why? Because the villains are not... Because the little henchmen are not the star of this thing.
Yeah, but
Tony Stark being a badass is the star of it.
Ponytail
But Mike, what was
Express
your...
deserves some blood.
Mike, what's your take on it?
Yeah, you know, there were some themes that I really liked that they were exploring, and I'm sure we'll get into that later. But I think what really made this film for me was just all the actors. You know, Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Ben Kingsley, you know, Guy Pearce, who it took me forever to figure out that was him until the credits rolled. But
Every time Guy Pearce shows up in something, I'm like, who's that? Do I know him?
yeah,
Yeah.
I know this guy from somewhere. It drove
He
me
and
nuts the
Ethan
whole-
Hawke have that same kind of like, I'm the generic... If they ever start making really good video game movies, they will be every protagonist in all of them.
Right. But honestly, I think that they are they're what made the film for me. I think that all the acting, the characters, the caliber was a huge step up from not only Iron Man 2, but I even think Iron Man 1.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. Like, I've been going back and forth in my mind of, did I like this more than Iron Man 1? Because, yeah, I had problems. Like I said, the beginning of me is very much Iron Man 2 and the stuff that I did not like about Iron Man 2. But then after that, I was enjoying this a lot more than the first Iron Man.
Oh, it's a hell of a lot better than Iron Man. Like, it doesn't have to play with that stupid origin pacing that is really kind of banal at this point.
Okay, but let's face it, Iron Man didn't really spend a whole lot of time with the origin stuff. It was like maybe the first 45 minutes or so, and then you get into it.
No,
Yeah.
Iron Man 1 was all origin, but in a good way. It was all about him being, at the beginning, him being, like, the first 2.5 minutes of Iron Man 1 are just excellent. The whole him in the back of the Jeep is one of the best character-defining moments of film. It's great. I love it so much. And then the journey of Iron Man 1 is, I think, still the best of this franchise, because it has one point, a very singular point at the beginning, very clear steps, and a singular point at the end, and it feels coherent and proper in a way that Iron Man 3 didn't.
I can totally understand you saying that it doesn't have a point. To me, there were, little bits of points to it, but yeah, it was nothing quite like Iron Man 1. But at the same time, to me, I was really just, kind of like with Mike, I was really just blown away by the characters. To me, this was more of just flat-out fun, but it wasn't like a popcorn film, because a popcorn film is like, yeah, I go in, that was fun for a couple hours, and now I'm going to go and do something else. No, this was like fun to that level that it really stuck with me. And, I mean, once again, you mentioned that in Iron Man 1, there was that great character-defining moment. That's what this entire franchise has been to me. It's all been about the characters. And this, I think, has done the best job with the characters, in my opinion. This Iron Man 3, to me, did the best job with all the characters. With Tony Stark, with Rhodey, with Pepper especially. And with, I'd say even with the villains. I mean, maybe not as good as Obadiah Stane in the first one.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps, Aaron.
Yeah, okay, Obadiah Stane might still be the better villain, although I can't say, why I like the Mandarin so much in this one, but
'cause
I
the Mandarin
really
is
like the
great.
Mandarin in this one.
Because Ben Kingsley's menacing voice is so good.
Oh yeah.
Although am I the only one who thought he was doing a southern accent there? I was confused by that accent, but
Like they say in the film, it's like the the enunciation of a southern preacher.
okay, yeah, I can kind of understand that then.
But,
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah.
I dug all the character stuff. That middle portion with the kid is great. That is all like good Shane Black shit.
And
But
I think that
all
deserves
the-
pointing out because how many times in a film can you say they added a little wisecracking sidekick kid and it was awesome?
It was
well,
awesome, but I don't know. That to me was one of the lower parts of the film. I mean, I liked parts of it, but it was so cliched. I don't know.
It's the parts where the movie had to go and be big dumb blockbuster that I really hated it. Like Barrel of Monkeys sequence was really cool, but I
Yeah,
hated
that was great.
It was boring.
It was boring.
Whoa.
The entire
No, you could have cut that
finale
out.
I totally
Went a bit
disagree
too long.
with that.
Like,
No, well,
I would
the-
cut 20
the,
minutes
uh,
from this movie easy.
Oh yeah, you could do that in a heartbeat. There's so much fluff. There's like a whole scene of whole scenes of banter that exists to be banter about nothing. It doesn't have the flow, and like you said, that sequence you can cut it out. It bears no bearing on anything.
I completely disagree with that. I think that scene actually does have bearing because throughout this film we've been seeing Tony Stark struggle with so much, and then you have this scene where once again everyone is falling. And what does he do? He steps up to it. The entire theme of this has been he's dealing with that feeling of falling through space, that feeling of dying, and now all of a sudden he's got 13 people falling and he has no idea how to save them. I think that's very important, and also it's because throughout the entire film up to that point, he's been getting beaten down over and over and over again. And this is the scene where it's like, okay, time to be a hero.
Well, the thing I thought with like that sequence is, yeah, sure, there are him doing crazy stuff as we see in the trailer, but plot-wise, in terms of actually driving anything forward, is they make a side obstacle to deal with that actually doesn't add anything to the momentum of the film. It's like, oh, I guess he did that.
Well, to me, I can agree with you that it didn't really advance the plot. It kind of does because it ends with something. Man, I can't really talk about why I think it advances the plot, but you're right, it doesn't really advance the plot a lot, but it does once again show a character moment, and to me, once again, that's what this entire series is. The entire Iron Man franchise has all been about characters.
Which moment?
We're
Barrel
talking
Monkeys.
about the
Barrel
plane.
Monkeys.
That, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was great. I don't know what your guys' problem is.
Yeah. Mike, how come you can't be on more of these?
We're on our whole nerdy pretentiousness, me and Maz. That's what we do. It's how we're doing right
Got my
now.
pinky finger stuck up.
Basically.
John,
Right.
you want to watch Downton Abbey. Alright.
Oh, Kevin is going to love that.
Oh, Kevin hasn't seen it yet.
No, Kevin is going to love that so much.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
You know
By
what
the
character
way-
I could do without?
What?
John Favreau.
No,
Yes,
no, you're wrong.
that guy can go away
No.
forever. Seriously.
No,
He was old in
no.
Iron Man 2. He's still old now. That guy needed to die. Ugh.
How is that guy getting fatter? Seriously.
I did like that. He was like twice the size as an Iron Man 2. That was great.
But like, we now have pictures of John Favreau basically as Vincent Vega with a goatee. I think it's worth it in the end.
I will
And I
say
like-
this. In the first one, it was like, okay, he made a cameo there because he's the director. He made a cameo as Happy Hogan. In the second one, it was like, all right, I can understand you giving him more stuff to do, but this is really bad stuff you're giving him to do. In this one, I'll admit, he's still an annoying character, but he's better than he was in the other ones. And
Talking about Happy Hogan is great.
No.
Guys,
No.
no.
He's pointless. You want to cut something out of the film, cut that shit out.
No, you make him more integral, like he does here. I think what happens to how Happy figures in early on
Yeah.
is one of the better parts of the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
And I wish they did, if they had played into that more, it would have been amazing.
I don't think it's one of the better parts of the movie, but I do think that's good what they do with him in this. I just think that him arguing over the pad and about the badges.
Oh, it's so good!
You're making him such a dick in this.
So good! He's an overcompensating dick because he's been living under Tony for so long. Of course he is. It's great. It's great.
All right, moving along. But yeah, I do think that, like I said, I think that Happy was better in this one than he was in the previous ones. I think that agrees to all of the supporting characters. You know, you can always say that with Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. in the first one, he's always been great at it. But in the previous Iron Man films, whenever I liked something that Tony Stark was doing, I was like, that seems like a really good improv for Robert Downey Jr. In this one, whenever Tony Stark was really clever or had a really great moment, I was like, that's Shane Black writing really great Tony Stark dialogue. It really felt to me more like it was an actual part of the script. And also, Don Cheadle, in the last one, I didn't really like him. Like, who is it that he replaced? Who was it that was actually originally?
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, to me, was a much better selection for Rhodey. I still don't think he was a great choice for it, but I thought he was better than Don Cheadle. Because Rhodey and Tony are supposed to be really good buddies. And the last one, the only moment that I really got the feeling that they were buddies were that quick little exchange where they had where who was going to take the high ground. In this one, I really got the feeling like those two were friends. What? Somebody?
No, for a second I was going to say Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker is Rhodey?
Let's just reimagine real quick. Rhodey as played by Forrest Whitaker.
John Favreau probably fought to have him in the second one just so he could have looked thin by comparison, but that was probably the only reason. Let's just name all the black actors we can think of.
The fatter John Favreau gets, the better he is for Happy, because as Happy as this, God, you guys are so wrong. You have to embrace happiness. I don't mean to throw someone under the bus who isn't even here, but you and Matt are always like two sides of the same coin, because like he keeps going on about how Pepper has been the best character in all these films. I'm like, what? And then you go, no, Pepper is not the best character in these films. Yes.
Happy is.
It's true. Pepper is the best character in this film, and in my head, I can listen to the end title credits and wish away Iron Man 3 and pretend I watched a heist movie with Pepper as the main character. That's what it was to me.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying that's what the end credits make me think of.
Oh, the end credits. Okay, fair enough. All right. But no, yeah, don't get me wrong. I think the idea of Pepper is great, but I always just had problems with Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper in the previous ones. I mean, in the first one, I thought she was all right. In the second one, she had to do a lot improving too, and she can't improv. I mean, it was painful, some of the moments. But in this one, I like what they did, and I'm not going to say what they end up doing at a certain point, but I like that she takes more of a role at one point in here, which has always been a problem with female love interest in all comic book movies. So I was really happy to see that.
I feel completely the opposite way about Pepper's character here. I think they reduce her in some really strange ways. They posture towards giving her more stuff with, like, there's stuff early on that is in the trailer with the suit and everything and all that nonsense, but she's in it far less. She's only in about 6 scenes or whatever overall.
Yeah, but
she wasn't really in the previous ones either all that much. She's always kind of in this a little bit.
Yeah, and at least in this one, she, like, you know, Aaron said, she at least plays a bigger role throughout the whole, throughout the film, whereas, like, in the first one, and I don't really remember Iron Man 2 that much, but in the first one, she's kind of just there as like the damsel in distress kind of character.
Yeah, in the first one, she's there as the damsel in distress, and she's there kind of just to tell Phil Coulson, hey, you guys should really come with an abbreviation for that name. And that's kind of, and the Tony Stark has a heart. That's it.
Yeah,
right.
Like those are, she really has only 2 defining moments in that. One is damsel in distress, and one is the Tony Stark has a heart, which is a great scene. Don't get me wrong.
I think they didn't build on Iron Man 2, which did do some good stuff with Pepper. I think they should. Making her the head of the company in Iron Man 2 was one of the best things they did with that character. Play into her.
I think it could have been, but I don't think that what they did was good with it. Like,
oh no, it wasn't that great. But
yeah, because what they did was they just went, all right, we don't have a script. Pepper, you're now the head of Stark Industries, and then you never see her doing anything with it. Except for that one time when he brings her strawberries. And that's it. And so, yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, I do wish they had done some more, but in this one, she is there to introduce the secondary villain, which we haven't even really mentioned at all in this, which is Guy Pearce. We made a joke about him, but for anybody who doesn't know, basically, we haven't even given the plot of this movie to anyone who hasn't really seen it yet. Basically, what this film is that Tony Stark is now suffering with PTSD after the events of the Avengers, and because of that, he hasn't. When the movie starts, he hasn't slept in 3 days, and he's just been doing nothing but building the whole time. He has to keep his mind busy, and meanwhile, there's this guy called the Mandarin who is leaving threatening messages, causing terrorist acts across the country. And meanwhile, this guy, Aldrich Killian, played by Guy Pearce, shows up to Pepper and says that he has an idea for this new mechanic that could advance human evolution, basically. And from there, it goes
Because that
on.
always goes well.
Yeah, one of the things that it does is it rebuilds arms, and between this and Amazing Spider-Man, if you lose an arm, just let it go, man. It's never a good idea to try and regrow that shit.
But who doesn't want to be a giant lizard man?
That is true. That is a very good question.
But yeah, this leads me to, something else that we want to talk about, which is, how do you guys feel about Ben Kingsley finally coming in to play the Mandarin? Because there was so much talk about, ever since Iron Man 1, people have been saying we want to see the Mandarin, because he's basically Iron Man's biggest villain. He's, it's arguable who is his biggest villain, but Mandarin has always been either the biggest or one of his top 2 or 3. So, what kind of an impact do you guys think he made in this?
So good.
Yes, so good. I agree.
Yeah, it's really good. We can talk about it, though.
No, we can. We can
totally say that Ben Kingsley did a great job in this, that he did convey a great personality for the Mandarin.
He is the perfect villain for Tony Stark. I just wish they did more with it.
Yeah.
I
I really wish, as DVD extras, we get more videos from the Mandarin.
Oh, sure, but I think that's all you need. I think that what we got from him on screen, minus the videos, was perfect. It was enough, because to go into it any further would be kind of pointless, and you're kind of stretching it.
When I say more with him, I don't mean more with him. I mean more with Tony dealing with, oh God, this dude, fuck.
Yeah, to me, to me, the very first act of this movie, everything up until, it's in all the trailers, we don't have to hide it, he does get attacked. Tony's house does get attacked by the Mandarin.
You mean there are action scenes in this movie?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, explain what you just meant by that.
I'm joking, I was making a joke.
I found that attack sequence also to go on a bit too long.
Oh, it went on forever!
I disagree once again.
Why did he get trapped underwater? There was no tension. It's 20 minutes into the movie, Tony Stark is not going to die underwater. Everyone knows this. Why?
So in other words, you say that there should never be a threat in battle up until the very last one?
I'm saying that you have a certain number of beats in an action scene to convey, and they had the early beats to convey, which were proper character relation things, and then the final beat of, oh shit, Tony went on for about 5 minutes. And they stretched that out too long with a lot of different sequences.
How is that any different than Iron Man 2 when you see in the trailer Whiplash, slicing up Tony's car in half, and it's like, well, he's not going to die there.
It seems to me, Jackson, like, when it comes to action sequences, you only care about the destination, not the journey.
Oh, no, that's all completely
because, Iron Man isn't going to drown when you see him falling in the trailers, but the way that he gets out, I love that. That to me was like, this is awesome. That to me was awesome how he gets out of it.
I just think all the major action set pieces, except for the one that's the second to last one, let's call it, is really bad because it's all big budget, crappy-ish CG fakery.
It wasn't. I don't know. I really
something
like
about
that.
Mike, I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you, Mike. Remember, you got me in your corner.
Come on. I mean, this is fucking Iron Man after all. I mean, come on, people. I mean,
I'm not saying CG is bad. I'm just saying it looked really CG.
I'm with you here. That his cliff looked like a cartoon. And I was like,
well,
what?
yeah, the cliff was clearly CG, but what you're talking about, Matt, is the second to last, action set piece.
I loved it.
Yeah, but it wasn't that CG.
Oh, so in other words, you like the one that has the least amount of action in it. Well, the least amount of Iron Man in the suit.
I like that too. I wish, again, another thing that, like, come on.
I love that too. I love every single one of these action sequences. It really struck me with how well Shane Black can direct action scenes. I mean, like, the action scene that you like, Maz, there's a moment there where Tony does a flip in the air and the camera swirls around him. And I mean, it didn't do that Matrix shit where it pauses on him and slowly moves around him. No, it whips at the same speed that he's going at, and it was like, I felt like I had whiplash with that scene because it just is so smooth. It's like, holy shit, I'm on the other side of the room now. All of a sudden, what happened?
Yeah, it was really well done. I liked that scene.
Yeah, I know you like that one. I'm with Mike though. I like all the action scenes in this. I'm really impressed with it. The ones in and out of the suit, because that's another thing that I like about this. We see Tony out of the suit a lot in this.
Yeah.
In fact, we even see him fighting using Christmas ornaments, which once again, Shane Black, seriously, man, what happened with you?
You must really like Die Hard, the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. Sure, Maz. Anyway, the rest of you guys, let's go into what do you guys feel about? This is the thing that seems to be dividing everybody, because I was at work today, and everybody was talking about, and everybody who loved it loved the twist. Everyone who didn't like it didn't like the twist, and that seemed to be the main defining thing with them. So, what was your guys' opinion? We won't say what the twist is, but yeah, there's a big twist in this thing. You know what? If anybody doesn't like this movie because of the twist, or if anybody just flat out does not like the twist, you know what? I can understand. I can understand that. But to me, I loved it. I love the twist. I mean, it completely pulls the rug out from under you. And yeah, for a couple minutes, I was like, what's happening? I have no idea what's going on. Which is how you're supposed to feel in that moment. He perfectly did that. And then, it gets to, but then as soon as, I saw what they did with it, I was like, this is fucking brilliant. This is a great idea that they put in here, and I love what they did with it.
What I loved, I don't get those. It's the hardcore comic fans who don't like the twist, and then fail to have an imagination to see how that twist actually still leaves the door open for it to proper happen.
Yeah, and to proper happen, we'll discuss that more on the show. But just coming from a diehard comic book fan, I love the twist. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of other big comic book fans. I work at a comic book store, so of course there's a lot of other comic book fans there. And yeah, they were divided on. A lot of them did not like it. A lot of them did. I've listened to other review podcasts, and some people out there who are admitted comic book fans, they absolutely love it. Some of the people out there who don't read any comic books hated it. So it seems to be like, I would expect the diehard comic book fans to hate the twist in it, but it seems to me like it almost doesn't play any... It doesn't matter at all, really. It seems to be all over the board.
Well, I think the issue with that twist and the way it goes down is that you're like, oh, fuck, and then Tony's like, huh? The things that happen should shatter Tony. They should completely wreck his character, and he doesn't. He goes, what? And then carries on with doing what he does.
Well, the thing is that's who Tony Stark is. I mean, Tony Stark is a guy who he doesn't get shattered. He just goes, are you fucking kidding me? And that is kind of the reason why we love Tony Stark.
I know, but that should have been the thing. We'll talk about this tomorrow, but that's why.
Well, to me, then it almost sounds like, then it's no longer an Iron Man film. Then you betray Tony's character of who he is.
Not with the way they go at the ending. Not with the way that film goes. This is tomorrow talk.
I really enjoyed... Did you guys have a feeling like this was phase 2, though? Because,
no, and I like that.
More like a denouement.
Yes, a denouement.
Yeah, to phase 1. And a proper epilogue to it.
It felt to me like phase 2, because to me, phase 2 shouldn't feel like lead up to Avengers 2. Phase 2 to me should feel like now they're off doing their own thing. And that's exactly what this felt like to me. Like, I've heard a lot of people kind of complain about this film. Man, why aren't any of the other Avengers in this? Why, you mean to tell me he couldn't have just called up Nick Fury at some point? And I was like, shut the fuck up. No, this is Iron Man. And the whole point, like the biggest complaint that everyone has about Iron Man 2 is that it was nothing but like an ad for the Avengers. The thing that I was looking forward to with Phase 2 is no more lead up to Avengers. Now the Iron Man movie is Iron Man.
I'm pretty sure the only superhero people were complaining about was Bruce, though, right? No one was complaining about why isn't Cap in the film. The only complaint was why isn't his best buddy in this film now?
I heard people all over the place going, why didn't I see a Captain America shield flying at some point? Why didn't he call it Nick Fury? Yeah, and once again, not coming from comic book fans, from all over the place.
Yeah, from the movie fans, obviously.
Yeah, from the movie fans are just all over the place of why weren't any of the other Avengers in here. Like, because Thor isn't on speed dial, okay? And also, this is an Iron Man movie. I do not want any more. I don't want any more of the other films to be, hey, wink, wink, here's Avengers coming. You know, Captain America, yeah, that's going to have S.H.I.E.L.D. in it because he's a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. Understandable. Fine. Whatever. That's it. I don't want the Hulk to show up and fight Thor in the next Thor movie. I don't want Iron Man to, start whipping out prank calls to Captain America. No, screw it. I don't want Hawkeye to show up in any of these things other than maybe his own movie or Avengers 2. That's it. This is supposed to be the Iron Man movie, no longer lean into Avengers Part 2.
Well, it is its own movie, but it also further builds the Marvel Universe in, asking that question of, okay, now in Iron Man we set up this idea of superheroes or whatever they called it, but now it's like, oh no, now we live in this world where gods and aliens are real, yo. So
well, yeah, and I like that too. Yeah, I like that too. I like that it did not. I like that it did not, completely go back to, because my biggest fear in this thing was that it was going to be Ben Kingsley in another Iron Man suit fighting him, because in the Iron Man universe, it's only technology. I like that in this one, they actually admit, hey man, a god fell from the sky, we can now invent other forms of technology other than just a big suit.
Yeah, there's end of, God, I want to say it was Justice League number 20, whenever the Atlantis attack storyline ends, where you cut to the end and there's this guy who's just in the word was just I guess they'll call us super villains now. And that this movie was that is well, I guess they'll call us super villains.
Are you saying that in a positive or negative way?
As a positive thing, I dug that.
Oh, okay.
I the Nolan Batman films were all a quote unquote gritty, realistic take, which I think is overstated, honestly, on what if heroes were real, and Kick-Ass was a satire of that. And this one's just no,
No, it wasn't.
Let's just think about it.
Yeah, I do. Once again, I can agree with you on that. I like that this one went a little bit more into the, hey man, superpowers now exist across the board in these films, but at the same time, we don't have to, we reference, hey, there's a big guy who fell from the sky with a hammer, but at the same time, this is still completely Iron Man's own thing, but the world has changed to the point in which superpowers exist. I know that everybody out there has been going, man, I can't wait for Thanos in Avengers 2, and I know I just got done saying I don't want these movies to be lead up to the Avengers, but after seeing this one, I was man, forget Thanos, have the Masters of Evil, have it be the evil supervillain Avengers team in the next one. I would be very interested in that, because we've been mentioning the Mandarin in this, but we also haven't mentioned that the Melter is one of the villains. And can we just stop and give Shane Black applause for the fact that he made the Melter badass? The Melter. A dude who melts things as his power.
Oh, those were the melt. Oh, okay.
The creepy lieutenant guy.
Yeah, the bald guy. Because there's also a henchman guy who keeps coming after Tony, who's not a main villain, but it's the Melter.
He was played by Mark Strong. Just because he's black.
Wasn't he played? I think after Green Lantern, Mark Strong is oh, I'm sorry, was this based on a comic book? We'll burn this script. But yeah, wasn't he played by the guy who played Bruce Willis' son in The Last Die Hard?
He was not.
No, James Badge Dale.
Oh, I guess it's the same guy. All right.
He was he was in 24. He played.
I know they both have a three-word name, and they both look like Wesker's son from Resident Evil 6. So one of them is getting that phone call for the last Resident Evil movie, and I think I know which one's going to be desperate enough to take it. But yeah, anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about before we go into our review, into our rating?
I kind of wish that they had explored Tony's PTSD and his bouts with anxiety a little more, because I thought that was great. Because the first time he experiences, he runs into the suit and he's like, Jarvis, tell me what's wrong. He's like, dude, you're fine. You're just having a panic attack, and and it seems like that's something Tony can't wrap his mind around, something psychological that he can't fix. Yeah, and that to me was.
I absolutely love the PTSD stuff in here, but I do agree with you that it does just kind of it didn't quite have a resolution to the PTSD thing, but in a way I also kind of like that, because if it had a resolution, it would kind of be saying, hey, shell shock, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's something that you can take care of if you're smart enough. When in fact, no, it's not.
It didn't have an actual resolution, but it had the implication that all that shit was dealt with by the end.
Yeah, but it
hopefully
was dealt with in such a way that it kind of made it seem like, oh well,
I'm-
hey,
I kind of
with you.
forgot about it towards the end of it. Honestly,
That's what they did with all Tony's character issues. They brought them up, and then it was like, and they all work. Each bit was like, yep, that worked, the other worked, but they just didn't link them together. None of the character moments felt really ingrained in his journey for especially a story that should have been so character focused.
right? Because like when that dream sequence he had towards the beginning, when he's having those flashbacks to New York and dropping the bomb, I kind of wish that they had explored that a little, or maybe even, part of me kind of was like, oh, that'd be kind of neat if they did like a dream sequence or something, flashback to him, going into the wormhole and then dropping back down, like what happened there. But, because clearly something happened to just, fuck him up.
he died. That's what happened to him.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Like that's why I said, like, part of me be kind of interested, but I don't know.
Well, no, yeah, I do wish that they had played more with it. Yeah, like I love everything they're doing with it, and then it just kind of drops to me. But yeah,
I doubt.
And there's go.
I doubt Marvel is going to be the place where we get interesting surrealist imagery.
Hey, that Doctor Strange movie's coming, man.
True.
True, but that would be all magic and awake. Not like I'm having waking dreams and shit. But oh well.
Well, I know that was a joke.
I wanted to more talk about like Robert Downey Jr.'s contract with Marvel's up now. Like this was like it says Tony Stark will return, but hey, Robert Downey Jr. might not be Tony Stark.
Yes, he will.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, they're gonna like he's just like I want millions and millions of dollars. Good on him, Team GDP all the way. But still,
well, and they're going to give it to him because the Avengers made over $2 billion. So
Yeah.
And this, fucking Iron Man, $175 million opening weekend.
Hell yeah.
That blows my mind. One character just...
They will get
It's
him
insane.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't think. I think it's a question more of how. I think it's more he's got a fuck ton of money. He has been doing these for 5 years straight. Now he can afford to go. Yeah, I'll turn up for some of it. I'll turn up for a bit of it. I don't know. I think it just gives him the luxury to decide on a per movie basis whether he wants to show up.
Sure,
Well,
but
I
at the
think
same time, it's not like when Spider-Man 3 was coming out and I watched the interviews with everybody and they were so clearly like, I don't want to fucking be doing this anymore. He loves doing this. Like, you can honestly tell looking at him. He loves doing this. But at the same time, I really kind of wish that they did not make an Iron Man 4 because, to me, I love the end of this. I mean, the only thing that would have made this better to me is if it was more of like, I don't know, if Ezekiel Stane was Guy Pearce's character rather than whatever the fuck his name was. That'd be the only way in which I can go, you know what, this would probably be a better end for it. But to me, this was like, you know what, done, good. That is a good ending point for me.
have you seen Iron Man: Rise of Technivore?
No, and no one else has. Anyway,
No,
but
Matt
yeah,
has.
Mike-
He went on
It's
about it.
really bad.
yeah, I know you have. That's my point. No one's seen it. Anyway, Mike, you were mentioning you mentioned Alfred a moment ago. That was one other thing that I wanted to bring up about this, which is that once again, you don't really. I mentioned how I think that Pepper Potts is better in this one. I think that Rhodey is better in this one. Alfred is better in this one too. Did I say Alfred?
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Sorry, Jarvis.
I was waiting for that. I was like, hey,
Batman
yep,
reference
yep.
number 3.
But yeah, alright, but Jarvis is better in this one too, because in the first one, Jarvis is there to make a few little, snarky comments, and that's it, very briefly to ship. It was almost like just a wink to the Iron Man fans to go, we know that he had a butler named Jarvis. It's cool. And then the second one, I don't even remember if Jarvis did anything in the second one. And one of the things I really liked about Iron Man's fight scenes in the Avengers was that he and Jarvis have back and forth. I mean, when Tony Stark almost dies, I love that it almost seems like this robot that he built is actually caring about Tony Stark. That, that goodbye from Jarvis, I was like, oh shit, that's really touching from a computer. I love that Jarvis is a character in this one. To me, that was a great thing that they did with Jarvis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
okay.
though Paul Bentley probably won't see this movie.
Wait, what?
Paul Bentley was all like, yeah, I just kind of go into the recording studio and say my lines, then leave. I don't really watch the movie because it's kind of dumb, A
As
puppet
long as he still turns in a good, as long as he still turns in a good performance, I don't care.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, good for him. All right. Now, anything else you guys want to talk about? How would you? We mentioned all the other action sequences. Anybody have anything that they particularly want to say about the big final one, or should we just save that?
Save it for spoiler stuff.
After the spoiler one, yeah. For anybody who doesn't know what we mean when we keep saying we'll do this tomorrow, we are going to, for our regular podcast, which for any of you guys out there who on YouTube just typed in Iron Man 3 review into a YouTube search and just by some weird coincidence found us, we do have a podcast called the Pupcast. You can find it on iTunes now, and we're going to do a spoiler talk on this week's episode. So check that out, yo. But yeah, so let's go into the ratings.
Also, pupcast.com. Just throw it in your RSS feed. People don't like iTunes, man.
People don't like iTunes?
Yeah. It's an abhorrent, slow piece of software.
I use iTunes all the time.
Me too.
I guess
What are
I'm
you
crazy.
talking about?
So-
I
So-
don't like it, but I use it. I just
Exactly.
bought all of the Mentalist season 5 on it a second ago because I'm crazy.
Guys, less on other shit. Let's promote our shit.
Okay.
Yes.
Exactly. Go to
How about less about
pupcast.com.
talking shit about the thing that gets our shit out there?
Or
It's
go to
from- it's-
iTunes and go to the podcast section, type in Pupcast. We're the only good Pupcast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we're like next
please-
to the Juggalos one.
Yes,
That's
there's
on
a
YouTube.
Juggalo podcast. All right, but yeah, let's go into our ratings. What does everybody think? Let's start with Mike.
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. I really liked it. There were some, parts that I think could have been delved into a little more, which would have made it a much better movie. But overall, I think it was a great start and great, theoretically, ending to Iron Man.
Yeah. All right, Jackson.
3 stars. Like, it was better than, the other ones I didn't like in Phase 2, but there was so much more wasted potential that I came out feeling real disappointed in something that was actually not that bad. It was weird, but yeah, 3 stars.
No, I understand. Yeah, you hated pretty much all the movies leading up to the Avengers except for the first Iron Man, and so you.
And
And
the
now you're
second
going
Iron
into
Man,
Phase
actually.
2 like, oh, this will be different. You're almost like an abused housewife, just going back like, no. This time it's going to be different.
Oh no, because I knew that now they've got the origin shit out the way. I'm real interested to see where they go from there. Like, finally we can have some different stories, and it wasn't perfect, but it was better. So yeah.
All right, Maz.
I gave it a 4 out of a 5, but yeah, it tries to be something more than consumerist entertainment, and then it just is, which that's all Disney cares about.
It doesn't try to, it pretends to.
Good point, it pretends to be.
It makes postures towards being more, but it's not.
Well,
Like the
I'm
suit
gonna
itself,
walk-
it is hollow.
Boom! End this. No, Aaron, go.
Take that, Alfred. All right.
What did you guys think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie?
I can't.
God
wait
damn
to
it, I
see
did it
Tony Stark Jr.
Took me like 5 seconds on that. Oh, so you're saying that if they decide to do the Kang story for the next Avengers movie, and they can just go, well, we don't need Robert Downey Jr. anymore. We'll time travel back and get young Tony Stark.
Can any of you remember any of the funny lines from this movie? Go.
Hell yes! What the
Go.
hell is wrong with you?
No, go.
If I repeat them, it will kind of spoil it. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, fine. Everybody, there's gonna be a quick break here. So we're back. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna walk away seem like the asshole in this one, but yeah, I'm actually giving this a low 5 stars. I've struggled between high 4 or low 5, but at the end of the day, yeah, I had a lot of problems with the first act of this. I do agree with you guys that it does not just completely hit on every single level like that. Plus, there's a tad bit of a, shit, what's the word I'm looking for? Plot hole. That, you know what, it's not that big, it didn't really bother me. And I'm fine with it for reasons that I'll explain when we actually talk about the spoiler cast. But it was like, alright, yeah, that's a little bit of a lazy bit right there. And yeah, like I said, I agree with you that it did not hit every single level. This is not one of those things that, just was also like, it didn't really reach down to your soul and go, yeah, but what do you think about this? But at the same time, man, I was so worried about how bad this could possibly be, and the first act did lead me into it, but this is the same great writing that I love, great dialogue that makes me love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang so much. I loved every single one of the action sequences, and I had, during that catching them out of the plane mode, that gave me the same kind of high that I got during some of the best moments of the Avengers. So yeah, I'm going to walk away with this low 5 stars.
If anything, hopefully this sees a resurgence of Blue Daba D by Eiffel 65.
No, that can stay in 1999 and
No.
stay there for... No,
You'll
It'll
goddamn it.
live on in my
Never
mind forever.
I think your wife would disagree with you, Mike.
Yeah, well... yeah.
Like him, inside and outside.
Am I the only one who, when they started playing that, just instantly went, "Oh right, this existed"?
I know, I was like, I remember this song. And then all the little kids were like, what the fuck is this?
We do need backup. That's your department.